Have you heard of diet culture?
No. What is this diet culture?
Moving on to the question. My mother-in-law is always labeling foods as good or bad in front of our daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She came home yesterday telling me, Grammy said, all I eat is junk food.
Yeah.
What do we do with this?
So you and I talked about how we need to empower our kids by teaching them that food isn't good or bad, but it's more about like what's in the food. And so we've had a lot of conversations about macronutrients, micronutrients, minerals. The idea is if kids kind of have a better understanding of what's actually in the foods that they're eating,
We can snap back at Grammy.
Yeah, exactly. You have like kind of the tools to say,
respectfully, snap.
Well, Grandma, that isn't bad food. It just consists of, and so we're just giving them the information they need to really show up to kind of those comments.
So what it sounds like is we need to maybe educate ourselves a
Yeah.
bit more. I know I need more education on this.
Yeah, and I think that's the big hurdle with almost everything parent. It all starts kind of here. And so food is one of the biggest battles in like every home and within extended families. But the more we can learn, again, just keep it simple in terms of macronutrients, right? All food.
Well, because we didn't really learn this information in school.
No,
I
not
remember
really.
like the My Plate.
We had the food pyramid
The
first,
pyramid
and
and
then
then My Plate. And
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
what even is protein?
Right.
Why do I need to eat more vegetables than protein? Was that explained to us?
Not
Or was I like looking out the window during those lessons?
Yeah, no, it wasn't really. It was just kind of set here as this model, I think, to try to keep things simple. But it would have been more simple to me if it's like, okay, everything you eat is either got fats, proteins, or carbs in it, or a combination of those things. And if you just start there and learn a little bit about what's a healthy fat versus an unhealthy fat, what's healthy proteins versus an unhealthy protein, same with carbohydrates, which are the sugars of the world.
But is education really enough? What if a food really is devoid of nutrients?
Like what?
So let's take like my favorite food, cotton candy.
That's your favorite food?
Okay.
Good to know 15 years into the relationship. So take cotton candy.
So say my daughter wants to eat cotton candy and we need to explain this to Grammy.
Yeah, so it's not devoid of nutrients. It is full of carbohydrates. It's pure sugar. And so the idea might be, sugar doesn't have to be a bad thing. The moment you eat that cotton candy, that sugar goes right into the bloodstream. And if you're being active, your muscles will soak that sugar right up from the bloodstream. Doesn't even have to go and be processed, really. Again,
I might crash afterwards, but I got that initial jolt of energy,
you're
right?
You're definitely going to crash as it spikes your blood sugar really quickly. But the idea is, again, we don't want to put foods in these categories of good and bad. But if you look deeper into cotton candy and teach your kids, well, what other nutrients does it have in it? Nothing. It's doing nothing for you other than the sugar, where we could be leaning on other foods that have that sugar, but also are packaged with some other things as well.
Right. So what you're saying is it's really all about education.
Yeah.
Versus labeling these foods as good versus bad.
So education instead of this kind of stigmatization.